you, Mike?
Great.
It's a nice day today.
Let's do this.
What?
Let's just try to stay 6 feet apart.
Oh, God. We are.
This is going to be on.
I know. I was thinking that.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So where did
She went to the restroom.
Okay. All right. Can we tell if anybody's watching?
Yeah, nobody's on right now.
Nobody's watching. Okay. So can you tilt it down a little bit more? You think? All right. Great. Okay. So I'm not going to worry. Whoa! Look at that. So we're not going to worry about who's watching. We're going to do our class. So what we'll do today is we're going to run our golf class, keeping in mind that we're live streaming it. It's going to be recorded. You can watch this class, by the way, on YouTube on my channel. It'll be there, right? So just for context, we're doing this. It's our first streamed golf class, and we're doing it during the big coronavirus COVID-19 situation going on, so we're all trying to stay far apart from each other, and we are approved to be here and all that. But we're going to run through a few things. We're going to run through some basics in putting, we're going to run through some basics in chipping, and we're going to run through some basics in pitch shots. And this is our level 1 golf fundamentals class. If you enjoy this, so if you're already a member of our golf school, or if you would like to do online classes, in the future we're going to do a lot of these through Zoom. So you can just sign up for a golf class through our website, which is sullivangolf.net. You can sign up and then shoot me an email, say, hey, I want to be on this live stream, and then we're going to be able to send you an email to the link and get you going on that, okay? Okay, one more thing I want to point out, and I'll try to say this a lot, remind me. We've been using an app that's been helping us out a lot called Perfect Motion, and that's an app that you put on your phone. You put it right on your cell phone looks back at you, and it helps give you feedback of what you're doing. And what's really cool about the app is that I can see all of my students' perfect motion swings. So before somebody comes out for a lesson, I can see it. You could be at home, Stella, working on your game, and I can watch your perfect motion map and say, okay, we want to get this going and get that going. And everyone has different maps, and I've got a pretty good idea of what everyone should be doing. All right, so let's start off with putting. So let's have everybody grab your putter. So if you're at your home, go ahead and grab your putter. We're going to give it a second. Hey, Lauren, you got a putter in there I could use? I'm going to just run and grab one.
Our own balls, Mike?
Yeah, but for now it's mostly grip.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want this?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't mind.
All right, so let's talk about putting. And so you know what, ladies? You could go stand right in the shade, just spread out 6 feet apart from each other, right? Is the shade better?
It is.
Yeah.
But for her, it's fine. I'm good with sun.
Oh, you like
I actually need sun.
Should I get a tan?
I need sun for my legs.
By the way, I already pointed this out in our test run. The reason I may look a little like I'm really much slimmer than this, it's the fisheye lens on that, so that you can see me. That's why I might look a little bit less than really, really svelte, okay? So everyone grab your putter, get home, grab a putter, and you're gonna notice first thing when you look at your putter, on the top part of it, right here, so there's my putter face, and if I go here, the top part of it, what do y'all notice about the putter on the top, on the grip?
It's flat.
It's flat. It's flat. And the reason why it's flat is because this putting is great because we're allowed to use a grip that's flat that helps encourage really good fundamental grip procedures, fundamentals. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this putter down in front of me. I'm gonna take my top hand, so I happen to be right-handed. I'm putting my left hand on the top, and I've got my thumb going straight down the grip. This is a putter-only type of a grip. This is not the way that I recommend you do a full swing. This is just a putter-only grip, okay? So I've got my top hand on there, the thumb going straight down, right? And then my bottom hand, I'm just gonna place, or my right hand, right below it, and I've got, my fingers are kind of touching here. So this is a great place to start. You can get a little bit specific with that, but that's a great place to start. And the idea here is that if I were to just get the putter out of the way, both of my palms are opposing each other. Okay, that makes life a whole lot easier in putting if we get both of our palms opposing each other. All right, so take a look at this stroke. So I'm going to go ahead and make a stroke here. tick, tock, tick, tock. All right. If you're at home, go ahead and do that. If you don't have a putter with you, that's fine. If you don't have a putter with you, just get your hands together like this. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Okay. So now, Maria, you know everything, right? What is the problem that most people have with this? What do?
They put the finger over here and do this.
That's one of the things they do. What happens to the club face with the mistake they make?
Or they do like, they open it.
Yeah, come on over here and show us if you don't mind. Come on over, right? So we get out of her way. You can stand right there, okay? So let's see that stroke. So watch what's going to happen with the butt end of her grip.
So the one bad or good?
Do the bad one. Yeah. And particularly what we're talking about, let me jump back in your spot again. That's great, right? So you'll notice what she did there was, I'm keying on this end of the putter, okay? I want this end of the putter, the top, that we call this the butt end, I want this basically pointing at me. See, it's pointing at me right now. It's pointing at me the whole time back and the whole time through. It's pointing at me. I don't want it, when my club is moving towards the target, I don't want that moving backwards. See that? I don't want that. What this does is this opens up the club face. I'm sorry, it closes the club face. Scratch that, it closes the club face. Oh, it's a live stream, I can't even edit it out. Okay? This is gonna close the club face. So for a righty, it's gonna make it go left. And if you do that all the time, you're gonna develop all kinds of weird habits. You're gonna end up lining up too far to the right, and you're gonna shut it down left, and you're gonna be inconsistent. And the worst part about it is sometimes it's gonna work, and you think you did it right, and you got lucky, right? So, thumbs on top, and we wanna just let the butt end of that putter point at us, okay? And if I get rid of the putter altogether and just rest it on my side, hands together, and they don't have to be straight, they can be like that, right? But notice how I'm maintaining basically this triangle of my forearms and my shoulders, right? Look at my wrists, by the way. Look at my hands. They're not doing this, not doing that, right? So if you see somebody putting like this, they're not as good as they can be. And we see a lot of that, by the way, right? We see a lot of that, okay? Another thing, so on this Perfect Motion app, hopefully, does everyone here have it? I don't think you have it yet, Michelle, but the Perfect Motion app, you use it for putting, and what it does is, it's looking at you while you're putting, and it's actually watching what's going on, like right through here, like with your head and your spine. So when I putt, watch my head, so Stella, keep an eye on me here. Watch my head. Is it moving?
Not at all. No.
Okay, we like that because you're going to be more consistent, right? We like that a lot, okay? So what the Perfect Motion app is going to do, it's going to keep an eye on that part of your stroke. And as you get really good at keeping it relatively still, you can advance to higher levels. And then it makes it hard, it gets you in a really, really tight tolerance. And you can become a very good putter from that. You can go to my website, actually, sullivangolf.net, and then just go to Perfect Motion at the top, and then you can install it on your phone from there. It's on the main menu, and I'll help you with it. Okay. So, how do you keep your head still?
Lean forward, weight forward.
Yeah. So Stella's on the money, right?
What'd she say?
Right? So Stella's on the
12 feet
money.
away. What did you say?
I like that.
Weight forward, lean forward. Weight forward, lean forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So look, this is a little trick that works out really well for me. What I do is I pretend like against my shoulder, my lead shoulder, that there's like a wall there. And I'm leaning against that wall. Like I'm solid on my left side. And that makes it easier for me to just get the shoulders rocking. And another thing I could say is just set your weight into your front foot and make your putt. Start with that. Okay? So when you're home, using that Perfect Motion app or not, just set your weight in your front foot, make this a short putt, and go ahead and just tick, tock, tick, tock. And you're gonna probably get a lot better just from that. Okay? Let's take a look at this down the line setup. So we're gonna talk about like the posture for putting. Okay? Could someone take a look at that screen and see if my feet are in view here? Or I need to move further away. Do I need to move further away from the camera?
To see what?
My feet.
No, you're good.
Good? Okay. So take a look at this down the line view with me. What I want to do is, and you ladies can do this for me. Go ahead and just put your putter on the ground, right on your feet, and make sure that your toes, your hips, and your shoulders are all in the same line. Okay? All right. And you know what we can do? Let's get everyone out here. How about that? A little bit of variety if you're watching this at home. So come on. How are we doing so far? Pretty good for the first time?
Yep.
Do you know how many people could be watching this right now? Don't tell me.
9 people.
That many? I wonder how many countries. Can they tell us if they're in different countries?
Rogue Baron is coming in from Holly Springs.
Jerry, okay. Hi, Jerry. Who else?
Um,
Anyone else we know?
I can't see anybody else on my end. I
All
probably
right,
can
I'll
see
get back to it. All right, so I've got my feet, my knees, my hips, and my shoulders all in the same line. Okay, and by the way, there's other people that are interested in this. They're coming over and looking. They think there's good information. All right? Let's have everybody stand together, punch that way towards the wood. It's good to have a lesson. It's great. Is Michelle in it? Is she in the picture?
Oh yeah, everybody's in it.
And then I'm gonna and this works out really great. Pretend you've got you have a laundry basket or something, just like you're holding like something out in front of you, bent down a little bit, right? And then I'm gonna get my hands hanging straight down from my shoulders. Right? Now, when you putt and you have a putter in your hand, you might be up in here a little bit. That's all. That's fine. It's great. What we want is our hands underneath our shoulders. And now let's go ahead and see if we can make that rocking motion. Right? Take a look at your wrists. Take a look at your wrists and make sure that they're not doing that stuff. Right? Tick, tough. Tick, tough. Remember, weight on the front foot, right? Tick, tough. Tick, tough. That's good. I'm going to take a quick look at everybody. For Michelle. So try to lean more on your front foot. There you go. You're leaning against the wall. So I'm leaning against the wall.
I'll just come back.
She's just getting back in. Stella. So Stella, just watch that left hand. Give me a little bit of this. You see the difference? Okay, so I asked Stella, can she see the difference? If you can't see the difference, you can practice this in a mirror, right? So it's a really good idea to get in front of a mirror because we don't do what we think we do we? Feel is not real. Hey, Rev. What's going on, Mike? Hey, Grandma. Good, Maria. You going to join us for class?
No, I just want to, y'all, if I have class going on.
Come on.
I just want to get on the end and hit a couple balls.
Okay.
I'm not released yet, so
Hey
I might as well
Jerry,
be out here.
You're not released.
I have a surgery.
Oh, okay. Surgery. Okay.
Jerry says pitching you do the same way, Mike. Is that right?
As far as the hands are working or weight forward or?
Well, both, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Now pitching, we're going to get to that, but yeah, pretty much, Jerry. So incidentally, what I'm asking everyone to do here is I'm asking everybody to kind of cheat their hands in the front, on the front side a little bit, the weight on the front side. That's also helpful for pitching because it helps us get the low end of our swing a little farther forward. Because, you know, it's so common for people to hit behind the ball or to hit up on the ball and kind of skull it, right? Okay, so now, let's everybody pick up their putter. Let's everybody pick up your putter at home, right? And what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and make your stroke. Tick, tock.
Yeah, that's fine. If they want
You
to
make any way you want. Okay. Tick, tock. Right? Be careful. Take a look. What's your finish position like? Take a look at your lead wrist when you set up. And see at the end of your stroke, is it in the same position, or is it more cupped, or is it flatter? Okay, trivia question, everybody. For putting, take a look at your lead wrist. Your left wrist, Michelle, your right wrist. Okay? So if you look at your lead wrist, at setup it's in one position. after you hit the ball, should it be in the same position or should it be in a different position? Pretty close to the same. Depending how long your putt is, you might change it a little bit. All right? Okay. So now, we're going to have everybody get 3 golf balls. Okay? Everybody go ahead and find a target to putt to. There are 3 balls. And please grab another golf club, preferably 2 golf clubs or 2 sticks. Okay. This is going to be saved to YouTube. So if you're watching this live and you have to leave, then you can go ahead and just come back and watch it later. Or if you're missing some of the tools, you can come back and watch it later. You can also watch this again, maybe fast forward through the boring parts. There's probably not going to be many, but you know, you can do that, right? Okay, so let's everybody get set up with their clubs. I'm going to get mine. All right, keeping our distance, right? How's it going? Good morning. Go ahead, come on by. It's all right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hey there.
Well, we're going to be kind of close, so use a different hole. Maintain 6 feet, right? Okay, so now I've got these clubs down in a little bit like a rail. You see that okay, Mo? Yep. Okay. And yeah, just put a gap around here. Everyone supposed to stay apart. Come over this way. Either way, so you see what I'm doing. So what I've done is I've got these shafts set apart. I need a little bit of wiggle room. I don't want to have these things perfectly close together. Because the club, if I make a big enough stroke, is going to end up swinging a little bit inside the target line. But I just want to get used to that, being able to make my stroke and have that putter head stay roughly in that little line. Okay. So let's go ahead and everyone set up and do that. And I'm going to ask you a question about it a little bit. Okay. So as you're at home doing this, with the 2 clubs on the ground, okay, what we're doing is I've probably got like ½ an inch or so of leeway on the toe and the heel side. So about my sticks are about an inch wider than they need to be to hold the putter. Okay, and what I'd like you to do is make a few strokes like that and keep an eye on your club face. And watch what your club face is doing relative to those 2 parallel lines. Okay? What should be happening is, ever so slightly on the way back, if you're a right-handed golfer on the way back.
Do you want me to zoom in and you can
Yeah,
show?
come on over, yeah. It's so nice having you here. So if we look down here, so I've got about ½ an inch on each side of that putter head. And on the way back, you can see it's not going to stay perfectly square relative to those shafts. There's an ever so small amount of opening. We hit the ball where the ball would be, and then it's going to close a little bit. That is perfectly natural, and that's what's supposed to happen. Because we're swinging the club on a very slight arc. Right? Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. All right? Don't even bother trying to keep it square back and square through. If you can back up and show what that would look like for everybody. Hey, everybody, take a look at this. Look at how funky my stroke is going to be if I really try to keep the club face square to my target line all the time. Just watch this, and I'm going to do it again on these for you guys. If I want to keep the club face literally pointing at the target the whole time, for a little short putt, it's going to work. But if I make a longer putt, see how awkward that is? Does that look super repeatable? Right? No, we don't want that. So because the club is not straight up and down, it's on a little bit of a tilt, we're swinging the club on a little bit of an arc. And in order to keep the club face square to the arc, it must open a little bit and close a little bit. It's going to be natural. Don't try to do it, but don't try to stop it from happening. Does that make sense? New news?
Yes.
New
I
news.
thought you had to keep it straight.
High five.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, right. New news, okay. So let's take a look over here, right? Can I steal a ball? I won't touch it.
Sure.
I wonder, is anybody watching this from someplace really cold? Because it is like 80 degrees. It is 80 degrees with a nice little breeze. I didn't do that on purpose. Okay. You ready? Tick, tock. Great. I wasn't even paying attention to what my putter did. I was paying attention to just hitting my putt at the target. Okay, so now let's everyone get a target in front of them. So bring your sticks, and I want to show you how we're going to do this. So bring your clubs or your sticks over to your target. These are our targets. Now my putter is so wide, it's going to be wider than the target itself. Okay. So come on over, ladies. Hey, by the way, this is not a ladies golf class. This is our fundamentals golf class. So all you ladies that are taking ladies golf, you can be out here too, right? Okay. So what? We're doing great on that.
Yeah.
We're doing so good. All right. Contact. All right. If you want to, you can put in between here. You might want to start in between your sticks. Tick, tock. I just caught that one. Okay. All right. So go ahead and set that up and work on that a little bit. We're gonna show you how our students are doing this while you're at home. So this will be a little bit of time. You can stop paying attention to me a little bit. We're gonna watch everybody. So let's do it.
Should I use your clubs or?
You could you use your own here?
Yeah, I can.
All right. You know, being on video, I'm so subconsciously holding these clubs.
I'm gonna take this fisheye off.
Are you?
Just see what happens.
So one thing on this, Maria, looks very good. Okay. Doing the downhill cut like this, with this amount of slope on it, the only way you're going to keep the ball in line to hit the target is to hit it so hard that if that was a hole, you'd lift it out. So I would rather do this one uphill.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that because people at home can see that when they're practicing. I know Jerry practices at his club, so.
All right.
All right, Michelle, let's see what's going on here. Love the setup. One of the problems here, though, is the function of the putt you're making. I think the putt breaks this way, right?
Oh, okay.
So you don't have enough room to start the ball to the right of the hole. So if you don't mind picking up the sticks and put them on this side, because if you go uphill, it's always a much straighter putt. I would go at it like right about. Okay. And I'll come back and check on you in a second. Okay, great job with the lean. You don't need that much lean.
I don't?
No. So just a little less.
A little less.
Very nice. Good. Okay. Try to keep your weight. Yes. So here's what will happen, right? If you start off with your weight forward, and if you let it fall back a little bit, you're going to get a little bit of that. It's amazing how that happens. Same with the full swing, by the way. So when we see people hitting even full shots, if they start going forward, it's good. And then if they start coming back a little bit, flip over. I know that shot well. I love that you overdid the lead.
Yeah.
Good looking putt. Nice stroke, Maria. Good. You're doing such a good job getting on your front foot. You overdid a little bit.
Okay.
So that's one of the things is, you know, it's actually pretty rare, especially Maria and Stella are really doing a good job. They've overdone what I've asked them to do, which is really good to see. So that's why it's always good to check yourself in the mirror or take a picture of yourself with your phone once in a while so you can see what you're actually doing. It is possible to overdo the little correction. These two ladies have been working with us for a while, so they're really good at doing what we ask them to do. And sometimes they overdo it, which is nice. How are we doing over here, Michelle? Nice stroke. Awesome. Great. Okay, let's start with pick up the putters. We're done with putting. We're gonna do some chipping now. Great job. Thank you. So at home, go ahead and grab an iron. If you're hitting balls, it's gonna be probably like maybe a 9-iron, 8-iron, something like that. If you don't have balls to hit, whatever, you know, a shortish club though. Okay, let's grab them.
Should we grab that pitching wedge?
I would rather have like an 8-iron than a close block. That's okay.
Sure.
And can you get a tube for everybody?
Sure. You want to hang on to that?
Yeah, and make sure your hands are clean first before you grab the tubes, right? All right, we're gonna go take a walk down the bottom of the putting green. She's just gonna bring some tubes out for us, so she'll bring them down to us. Thank you for watching this. I see we've got a few people. I'm not really that familiar on the comments and all that. I think Lauren is, so thanks for commenting, Jerry. I'll try to get back to it. If I can see the comments through time, I'll try to answer questions. Just one thing to keep in mind on this class, this is our fundamentals class. It's our beginning, it's not really beginning golf, but a beginning golfer would be comfortable here. So we're not going to get into every little piece of minutia on every little technique. What we want to do is get people off to a good fundamental start. So we're going to talk next about hitting chip shots, and I'm going to ask the questions of these ladies in our class. And again, this isn't our ladies only class. It's just what happens. We've got all ladies here this morning, which is great. So, okay, so let's come on over. Hopefully I'm close enough that I can be heard, but far enough from everyone else, right? Okay, so just a question and answer. Look, you can come a little closer. We'll all be a 6-foot circle, right? Okay. Are you trying not to be in the video, in the picture?
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't matter. Okay, all right. So, okay, we're talking about chipping a little bit, then we're going to talk about pitching a little bit. What is the difference between a chip and a pitch? This is a subjective answer.
I know the answer. Say it.
Maria knows the answer. What is it?
The chip rolls higher than it flies, and the pitch flies higher than it rolls.
Exactly. So, hey Lauren, can you roll me a ball, please? Can you roll me one ball? 2 balls. Here it comes. Here's the other one. He's wearing gloves, you can touch it. Okay, so I'm gonna get this on video here.
I'll slide over here.
Bear with me. I'll get good at this someday. Don't worry. I promise. Okay. So first I'm going to show a chip shot. This is a chip. See the ball? It flew in the air a short distance and it's rolling the rest of the way. This is a pitch shot. Okay. So what is more reliable, a chip or a pitch? Yes, a chip is more reliable. So, have you learned that through experience? Because I always say it is more reliable. Ask anybody. Okay. So the sooner you get the ball on the ground, the better you're going to be. And as a matter of fact, hey, I make a saying. When we're around the green. Do you guys know what it is? You remember what it is? When you're near the green, what's my little saying about loft?
The less loft you use, the less skill you need.
Thank you. The less around the green, the less loft you use, the less skill you need.
Oh.
And let me tell you something. Whenever I play golf, I do whatever I can to play the shots that require the least amount of skill because it's a lot easier on the scoring that way. Okay? So whenever we can, basically whenever you think you should hit a chip, try to putt it. Okay? And whenever you think you should hit a pitch, try to chip it. Or still putt it. So we're not doing any more putting, but putting is really a great solution. So let's talk about chipping. Okay? So where are those balls that we had earlier? Can you just pick a couple balls? Sorry, Cookie. So you may just now come over on this side to kind of get a face-on view. So have your iron handy here, and hopefully I'm talking loud enough. I don't know if you can get a handle more if I'm talking loud enough. Okay. So basically, when it comes to chipping, what I try to do is I try to make it a putt with a little bit of loft on it. All right. So I've got a golf club with a little bit of loft. I happen to be using an 8-iron. What happens is it doesn't take that long, but you'll find once you get used to playing around with different clubs around the greens, you'll start to envision, okay, an 8-iron is going to hit the ball this far in the air and it's going to roll that far. A pitching wedge is going to hit it this far in the air and roll that far. You'll get a handle on it. Okay? So I've got my 8-iron, and let's start off with the problems we get. So based on the putting flaws that people have, any guesses for one of the flaws people have in chipping? What do they do? Oh, that's a good one. We didn't even talk about that over there. Yeah, so if you're a newer golfer, this is probably something that you got to watch out for. So here's what happens. I only want to carry the ball in the air like to here. Yet I'm a newer golfer and I'm just used to the club coming back kind of a long distance. So here's what happens. And we get that shot. And what makes it worse is that the actual shot came off okay. So now I got the bad feedback of thinking I just got to practice that. Okay? So it's a good little rule of thumb for beginning golfers. To remember, a pendulum on a clock, that pendulum swings back and through about the same distance, right? Probably on a clock it's exactly the same distance, right? So that we got to be thinking that's going to happen on our chips and on our putts, all right? So I want to get this thing working like a clock. Tick, tock. All right, and you may want to try to have your follow through be a little bit further through than your backswing was back, especially if you're a newer golfer. Okay. Any other ideas on people make mistakes with the chipping? Yeah, so they hit it too hard, so that's a practice thing. Although the thing I mentioned about taking it back too far and then decelerating, that's a big problem. Maria's over there, she doesn't want to speak up, but she's showing me, right? Well, here it is, this. Right? This shot right here, let me go to that hole up there, okay? Let's see how I can do it. Get a shot, right? Like Tiger does it right there, right? Okay, so I got lucky with bad technique, okay?
Yeah.
Don't do it that way, all right? So, look, we want to hit the ball solid. So we're going to hit the ball solid. We want to catch the ball before we hit the ground, or at least about the same time. We don't want to try to like lift the ball up in the air. And you'll notice that on TV here, that swing I made, in order to get that little scoopy thing happening, I shifted weight backwards, right? You know? And by the way, like, there's a reason I was able to pull that off, because I've done it like that before, a long time ago. Okay? So we're gonna set up with the ball a little bit back of center for this chip. And we're gonna press our weight into our front foot, just like we did for putting. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a little tick-tock putting stroke. Tick. Super duper simple, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spread out over here, let everybody work at it. So if you're at home, boy, this is something where if you've got birdie ball is a great product, by the way. You can also use your perfect motion to help you out with chipping. It watches how your head works and all that stuff too. So if you've got perfect motion, if you don't have it, you can go to my website, which is sullivangolf.net/perfect motion. Or you can just go to sullivangolf.net and find the perfect motion link, and you can install it right on your phone from there. Okay, so if you're with us now though live, wait a little while. I see that, thanks to the tip, Shirobana. Oh, that's someone has something to say to us?
Yeah, about a way to reduce the wind noise.
Yeah, sorry. First one, I know. You know, when we do the instructional videos, I got like a mic right here. That's too bad. We got to figure out something like that. I hope it was audible.
It is. It's just distracting.
All right, we'll get better. I hate it when they have valid complaints. You know that?
Yeah, but they also have good suggestions too, so we'll try them.
Okay, here's the thing, everybody. This is great. So I don't know. Here's the problem. Hey, let me take your spot. Oh, I'm far away. Is that thing pointing at me? So here's what we got. We ideally want to land the ball on the green, right? And then get up to the hole. Okay? So which hole are you going for, Maria? This one right here? So this is a great example. I've got an 8-iron here. What club do you have there?
8.
Okay. So if I really want to land the ball all the way on the green, that thing is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 16 feet away from me. Okay? If I'm going to use good technique and land the ball on the green, I'm going to have you watch this shot, Lauren, okay? Watch what this shot turns into. It went way by the hole. Not terrible, actually, but it went by the hole, okay? So here's what's going to happen. If we commit to this club and we have a good sense of the actual type of shot we're going to have to hit, the only way to land the ball on the green without it going by the hole is going to be hitting the ball with more loft. Does that make sense? So I'm standing over here, I got my club, I'm committed to it. What is my technique going to look like to create more loft for this shot? What am I going to have to do? Yeah, more like a pitch. It's going to be, I'm encouraging technique that isn't great. So if I'm trying to use an 8 iron, I'm 15 feet from the hole, and I can only roll the ball another, 15, 16 feet, right? 20 feet. Watch this technique that I'm going to use to make this work better. And it didn't work right. Do you see what I did there? Look, so to try to give myself more loft, I exaggerated it, but to try to give myself more loft, I ended up flipping the hands. Okay, so your club selection and your intent for the shot you're gonna hit has an effect on your technique. So I know you guys all laid your balls out. Let's get up closer. Let's get up within like 3 feet of the fringe up here of the green. So move all your stuff up closer. I hope that makes sense back home. This is one of the advantages of like practical application, This is the part in class where we start talking about why Tom Brady left the Patriots.
Why?
I don't know. So Stella's also from New England. So here's how I feel about it. I would be happy for the Patriots to give Tom Brady their entire salary allotment and make every other player be an unpaid intern and lose every game and watch him in New England than watch him play for somebody else.
Yep, I agree.
And I understand if you don't like the Patriots, I get it. But, they already got a bunch of Super Bowls. I just want to see him end with the Patriots. Right? Like Derek Jeter, could you imagine him playing for the Padres this last year?
No, it's terrible.
So again, what we're doing is basically putting the ball a little back in our stance, weight on the front foot, and you're making your putting stroke. You can even go tick, tock, tick, tock. I'm watching my head here, so I want to get even a little more still. Tick, tock, tick, tock. This is not the only way to hit a chip, but it's a good way to learn the basic fundamentals. And it's a good go-to shot because it's pretty repeatable once you get used to it. So what I was just saying to Michelle is we've got a little bit of an uphill lie. So she's hitting uphill, and it's really tough to get the weight a little into your front side when you're going uphill. So you have to really, really think about it. Okay. So really kind of, I hate to use the word plant, but really get solid on that front side, right? Solid on that front side. Ball back in your stance a little bit. Tick, tock. Just your playing stroke. Just your
again.
Tick, tick, tick. What I'm trying to do is just bottom out. I would normally have my ball back in here, trying to bottom out just a little bit ahead of it. Okay. We're gonna do pitching in a second. All right, let's get all the balls picked up. We're gonna talk about pitch shots now. So now we're gonna do pitches. I think pitching is the hardest thing to pick up. So if you struggle with it, be patient with yourself. Also, when you're playing on the golf course, when it comes to playing on the course, you should really try to play away from your weaknesses, play to your strengths. So if you have the chance to be able to roll the ball up on the green, roll it up on the green. And I know when I play with people, a lot of times they get, say, short of the green, and there's like 20 feet of grass, there's 20 feet of fairway, then there's the green, and they don't want to putt it because they feel like they don't know how hard to hit it. But the amount of skill that you need to play that pitch or that chip is so much greater than the amount of skill you need to hit the putt that you can learn to feel the distance probably sooner than you can get consistent at hitting really, really good pitch shots from that distance. Does that make sense if I said that? Do we have a question that popped up, by the way? No? Okay, all right. So we're gonna, same place, so you should have a sand wedge now, preferably. If you're hitting balls, have a sand wedge. This is a great thing to work on without a ball as well. So even if you're like Jerry, if you're watching us at the range, go ahead and you can do this without a ball if you want to. This is what we worked on the other day. Perfect Motion has a wedge setting for this, that works out great too. Okay. So we need a sand wedge, everybody, and we're gonna come back down here, okay? So I've got a pitching wedge. Can you entertain a little bit while we have a sandwich?
No. Oh, somebody asked a question.
Okay, maybe you can answer Monica.
Do wrist hinge in chip shot from Golf India vlog. I think Mike will agree that your stroke should mimic a little bit your putting stroke. So you really don't want much wrist hinge, although you will probably have some just with the weight of your club head pulling back behind you and then following through. I'm going to let him elaborate on that. Mike may have gone over this, but he will be live streaming tomorrow's short game class, which I believe is lag putting at 10 a.m. And he will have that available on YouTube as well. So if you want to follow along with us, bring your putter. Let me make sure that it's lag putting tomorrow. And he will be able to offer these remote classes to anybody in the world through Zoom, probably starting in the next week or so. So if you're interested in joining the golf school, the remote golf school, let us know and we can get you more information about that. So I basically said the chip shot should somewhat mimic your putting stroke.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is one way to chip. And this is a way that is one of the simplest ways, which is why we're talking about this in our level 1 class. It's certainly not the only way to do it. The reason why I like this so much is because so many people, when they first start playing, they want to get scoopy with their hands, and they want to fall back on their backside. All right, here we go. Pitching. Let's have everybody stand right over here. Just stand right there. All right, stand right over there near like that club. All right, good shots. Am I in the frame here, Lauren?
Yes.
So, okay, I got a basic shot. As a rule, do I want to use my 60-degree wedge or my 56-degree wedge?
Your sand.
Whichever one has less loft.
Less loft. There you go.
The less loft you use, the less skill you need. Okay? So we're going to try to always remember that. All right, so here we go with the pitch. Here's the thing about the pitches that make them kind of tough. It is less than a full swing. It's hard to get that centripetal force working a little bit, right? So it's hard to accelerate without going too hard at it, and you have to learn to trust it, okay? So let's start off with a couple of things. No longer do I have the luxury of putting the ball way back in my stance. Because by putting it back in my stance, I'm going to de-loft the club, and it's going to come off low and roll too far apart. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to play the ball more in the middle of my stance. Okay? Next thing is, when we strike the ball, right, we really don't want our weight shifting backwards while we hit the ball. Does that make sense? And so one of the things we've done here is we've said, hey, let's get all of your weight all the way forward, right? And hit your shot with it all the way forward and keep it forward. So that's an extreme example. And like that works out for some people. But remember, we have a pressure mat that shows the pressure that people put into the ground when they're hitting their shots. Do you remember what happened when people started off with all their weight on their front foot? When you got 100% there, what do? When most people hit the ball, they went from 100 on their front foot, and they went like that a little bit, and they hit back. That was lucky. That was a pretty good shot. And they end up chunking them and sculling them. So what I would say is, let's just make sure we finish up with weight on our front foot. And we ran a little experiment with our pressure mat here with basically this class, and everyone did really well when they could see what their weight shift was doing, what the pressure on the ground was doing. So we want to start off with weight a little more forward, and then finish with maybe even a little bit more still forward. Okay. One more little thing. I'm wondering if anyone else can remember the one little tip that helps us get away with misses on these shots. Yes. So everyone take a look at your wedge. So if you pick up your sand wedge, right, and you take a look at it like right here, like if you look at the bottom of it, see the bottom of the club is lower than the leading edge. So that determines the amount of bounce. We call that bounce. Okay? So think of it like if the ground was like a pool of water, and you came in and you hit it with the rounded edge like this, the club would kind of skip through the water. So when we hit a ball, think of the grass, think of the turf as like a swimming pool. We want to like splash and glide. We don't want to dig. So on these little pitch shots, if we set up and just get the club face, maybe you can get, if you get the shaft, maybe like here or leaning back a teeny bit. Don't try to get it like that, like lean it back up. Let's not hit our pitches like this. Am I in it? Let's not get like that. Because that's gonna want to dig. We don't want to be dragging the handle, we want to swing the club. And remember in putting, where is this supposed to point? Yeah, at us, right? So in the pitching, we want it pointed at us too. Now when it hinges, it's going to point down, but we want that pointing at us. And the other thing I would say about this is, and I'll hit a couple shots here, give yourself a break. You're learning a new skill. Don't try to be perfect with it. Have rhythm, try to feel the club pulling away from you with some centripetal force, and just relax. What's the worst thing that can happen? All right. That was the best of them, right?
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay. So give yourself a break if you miss it. Don't practice. If you're in the house, don't point at the china cabinet, I guess. Right? Okay. But yeah, ball a little more forward. Open that face a little bit. Tick tock right there. All right, let's do it. Let's get it going. Any other questions coming up?
Nope.
No? Okay. So I see we have more people viewing the stream. I'm really happy about that. We're going to do these sorts of things maybe forever. This is our level 1 class. It's our basic fundamental class. So this is something that is as simple as possible what we're working on. We're working on pitching right now. If you're watching us live, you just tuned in, this will be on YouTube, I guess forever, and you can go ahead and go back and see the putting and the chipping part as well. You just got kicked Cookie to move. Good shot, Michelle. Great.
Oh, somebody's asking about stance width for chip and pitch.
So for width of stance, generally people are too wide. Okay, so you want to have those feet. If you can point down a little bit. You want to have those feet, the outside of my feet are inside of my shoulders. You're better off being a little too narrow probably than a little bit too wide. Most people are just too wide. And then also I would say you want to favor your front foot a little bit, down a little bit. Favor the front foot. Now if you got a glimpse of our putting class, I kind of talked a lot about it, and a couple of the ladies were even too far forward, and then I was able to say, oh, you overdid it. So try to do this in front of a mirror once in a while. Take your phone out. You can buy some super cheap little stands for your phone so you can watch yourself, and I would highly recommend that you do that.
Mom hit 157 the other day.
Hey, you know what? My mom might be watching this, but I'll tell the story, Mom, if you're all right. So my dad was a huge avid golfer, and she wanted to play and to be around him and all that stuff. And so the first time she played, the first time ever, she shot like 120 or 140, her first time ever on the course. But she only played 9 holes, so she decided not to keep playing golf. But you know what? If you shoot 156 the next day, you're going in the right direction, right? It's all relative, right? Okay, so Maria. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Nice shot,
Great
Maria.
shot, Maria. Stella, how you doing over there? Our advanced class, we're going to be on the course.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good.
Hey, Stella,
Yeah.
you're a little more forward than you need to be.
I wait.
Yep.
Mike, question?
Yes.
What are the most common reasons for sculling pitch and chip shots? I seem to do well for the most part, but hit a terrible sculled shot 10 to 15% of the time.
It's the weight moving back and the hand and the scoop. It's basically what we've been talking about in all these classes. So if you're sculling them or chunking them, can you get this whole view? Good. If you're sculling them or chunking them, that's probably happening. And as a matter of fact, I played golf recently with a friend of mine, and he was having this problem. And what he really had, and I don't want to say anything on the golf course to him, but what he's got to do is get just keep the pressure moving a little more into that front foot. And that's going to help out a lot. I hope that answers the question. But it's the desire to lift the ball up in the air. You're going back as the club is passing your hands. So. Any questions, ladies, on this? Any questions on the video today? Thank you so much for putting up with this. Is that okay?
Yeah, that was good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So that is it for our level 1 class today. Tomorrow we're going to have a short game class that we're going to do this on YouTube also. Our topic for short game tomorrow, Marie, what was our topic for tomorrow? Lag putting. Oh, my favorite.
What?
Lag putting, long putts.
Oh.
This is my favorite class. If you watch this, you're not going to be able to roll 30, 40, 50 foot putts probably in your house, but you're going to learn some great drills that you can utilize at a golf course. And most golf courses are open, I believe. So watch that, and I'm going to try to give you some good little tidbits and tips on putting in general tomorrow during that class. That's tomorrow at 10. Also, we haven't rolled it out yet, but I think what we're going to do is do a little online academy where we can do Zoom group lessons like this. And you can pay like a lesser fee, of course, and you can be a part of our classes remotely that way as well. And we also can do private instruction with Zoom and with Perfect Motion. So I sent out an email to all of our subscribers here in Raleigh. I did not mention Perfect Motion, so if you go to my site, click on the Perfect Motion tab and get that. So any other questions before I go I could answer? No, I hope that was not too boring. It's my first time.
Good.
We will get better, I'm sure. See you tomorrow at 10. Thank you. All right, let's pick them up and get ready to play some golf.
Feel free to email us any questions you have. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also visit sullivangolf.net for any additional information. If you want to be placed on Mike's email list, you will get the weekly email and any upcoming information, any pertinent information. So we hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy some beautiful